Hi there, this is a level 2 and 3, so intermediate, advanced-ish, and I will make adaptations all the way through, you know what I'm like. So if you wish to make it a slightly easier level, every single exercise that I do will have a phase 1. Doesn't mean it's harder or easier, it's just phase 1. So you could always stay with that. Folks, I know our lovely teachers in Marple and our teachers in Glossop will give alternatives and adaptations to you all the way through your classes. So if you know that, say, when you're working with Lizzie, or when you're working with Debbie, or when you're working with Scylla, or when you're working with Anne, whoever it is you're working with, do they say things to you like, I don't want you to lift both legs, or I don't want you to lift your head and shoulders off the floor, or don't go very far on that rotation? Keep that in your mind all the time, and you know you're free to stop, rest, and start again when you wish. I do advise people to make sure you've got some water with you, and it is a good idea to take little sips of water throughout the session. You're going to need something to put your forehead on. If you've got a bigger nose, you might need something a bit bigger to put your forehead on. I have got a pillow, you may or may not need one. If you have got a band, fabulous. If you haven't, I'm using the left scarf, it's lost property from the studio, so you can use something to help you get a little bit of a stretch. So we're going to start off today on the floor. Hurrah! If you're going out for your daily walk, or maybe you've got some exercise equipment at home that you're using to get your cardiovascular, this would be brilliant to do when you come in. Okay, let's get on with it. So I hope you've got your mat, I hope you've got your equipment. And I don't know what time of day you're watching this, but today it's a beautiful, beautiful day. The clapping was out last night and it was amazing. Did it make you cry? Did me? All right, let's get on with it. So we're going to come onto your back. I don't need a pillow, but do you need a pillow? Medical reasons or just for comfort? Remember, your head should be in line. Yes? Okay. So we're starting off. I'll shift the equipment out of the way, lying on our backs. Staying here. Okay, so that's one version. As you're down on the floor, just watch me. I'm a bit rubbish at these, but if you do not have a bad back, you don't have osteoporosis, could you maybe come down to the floor that way? Okay, so feet and knees are hip distance. You're resting on your sacrum, that triangle bit at the base of your spine. We talk about neutral, we know what that is. That slight curve in the lumbar spine, arms are relaxed. Head in line, you should be seeing the ceiling in front of you. Oh, excuse me, it cheers. So we're going to start off. Just take a tiny bit of weight into the right side of the sacrum. Then a tiny bit of weight into the left side. Now you can see that I'm moving a fraction, but it is only a fraction, and I'm feeling that slight movement from side to side. Now, as you're doing this, I'm going to ask you as much as possible to not watch however you're seeing this. Once you've seen it, then bring your head into the centre and just focus on your movement. Thank you. So you're doing a couple more, where you feel the transference of weight from one side of the sacrum to the other. Come back into the centre. Now, are you in the centre? Focus on being right in the centre of the sacrum. This time I want you to roll to the top of the sacrum and just come back into centre. Excuse me. So you roll into the top of the sacrum and you come back into the centre. So we're trying not to use the waistband. We're not going as far as the waistband. You just go into the top of the sacrum and then back into neutral. Okay, I'd like you, if you can do, to bring your head into the centre. Close your eyes if possible. And just feel that you're doing that movement without using the buttocks. And just feel that you've got equal movement both sides of the sacrum. You're not rolling to the right side, you're not rolling to the left. It's coming directly into the centre. Now start to go the opposite way if it's okay for your spine to do lumbar extension. I'm rolling now towards the coccyx. I'm being careful when I say that. I'm come back to centre. So you decide. A little bit of stiffness in that lumbar spine is okay, but it shouldn't feel painful. So I want you to do 3 movements now. We're going to go roll to the top of the sacrum, come back into the centre please, and then allow yourself to roll to the bottom of the sacrum. But each time you do it, it's important you come back into the centre. 1, 2, 3. Do that in your own time so you can just breathe. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Work on equal movement. See how that feels in the sacrum. And this is something that you could just visit every day. See if you can get it really symmetrical. Can you get it smooth? Come back into the centre, which we'll refer to as neutral. Folks, this is quite a, it's quite physically an easy exercise, but the skill involved in this, I use this a lot, and particularly because we're warming up on the floor. Hands on your hip bones. Lower one leg, keeping this opposite leg as still as you can. Change the focus. Keep the supporting leg still. And you only lower, keep going for me, you only lower the moving leg as far as you can without feeling that your sacrum rocks. So you know the movement that you did at the beginning, when we were just gently rocking a little bit of weight into the right side, centre and then the left side of your sacrum. That should not be happening now. So you're keeping your supporting leg still, you're keeping your sacrum still. Ladies and gents, as you're doing this, take a breath out as you lower the leg. Take a breath in as you come back. So you're breathing out as you lower the leg. Soft breath in as you come back. Now as you're doing this movement, you're keeping the sacrum still. You're keeping the supporting leg still. Can I ask you folks to close your eyes and just focus on this movement? Your hip bones underneath your hands are still. Your sacrum is still. And your supporting leg stays still. If it moves, it moves. But you're in the right place to sort it out. And you can measure how much better you get. I want you to remember this movement. This is your get out of jail card for the lower body. So anything in class that you feel is not right for you, come back to this. Centre. Would you go back to rocking to the top of the sacrum and now press the waistband down? Folks, as you're doing this, you are thinking about 2 train lines and you are rolling equally through both parts of the spine. You start to use the buttocks a little bit. And can you get equal movement both sides of the spine? Ladies and gents, I know you know this, but you are drawing your tummy muscles softly to the floor and release. So you are taking a breath out as you increase that movement. Breathe in as you release. Now just go a little bit, just press the waistband just a little bit without using your bottom. You shouldn't be bracing your abdominals, you shouldn't be tensing them. Just feel you softening down. They do not push out into your hands. That's imprint. Come back into neutral. Folks, arms by your side. Arms come up, please. And this time, let them come in a very slight diagonal, very slight. And bring it back. So they're coming up, very slight diagonal, and bring it back. Now start to take it on that side movement. So it's your little finger that touches the floor, and you're going out to the side. Head is still, shoulders are completely relaxed. Ladies and gents, in this phase of the movement, there should be no movement through the ribs at the front. Very, very little movement in the back of the ribs. I'd like to turn your head so you can see me. So you're going to take your arms slightly further apart. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Have a little look. If it's hurting your shoulders, you just come straight up and down, yes? There's a little bit more shoulder rotation involved in this. So if your shoulders don't like it, you just come into the centre, yes? Now as you lift, take a soft breath out, soft breath in. At this moment in time, you can increase the range of movement. So I want your head in the centre, you're not watching me. And as your arms go a little further over, you might find they go a little wider, but I want you to feel that you're keeping the ribs down at the front of your body. Now that will be different a little bit later on. So you are keeping the ribs softened down and bringing it back. So we're working for stability. So ladies and gents, how is this feeling for you? Does it feel better if you do it in a straight line? Maybe your shoulders don't like that little bit of a different movement. Do you just want to go halfway? How is it right for you? Could you go further over as long as you're not bending your arms, you're keeping the ribs down? I'm using the out breath because we're in the warm-up phase and I want you to keep the ribs down at this stage. Please would you make this your last one? Take it up and over and bring it back. So ladies and gents, close your eyes for a second if you want to. What was right for you? Straight arms or wider arms? Anytime you want to come back, you can come back to either one of those movements. Okay, hands on your rib cage please. I'd like you to allow the foot to hover. Bring the knee up in line with the hip and place it back down. So the ribs are staying still. Transfer your thoughts to your hip bones. So your pelvis is staying still. Folks, this is called knee lift with the spine in neutral. Now the movement that we're building up to is going to be called the 100. I will give you lots of alternatives. If I don't work you hard enough, team, it's my fault. If you work too hard, it's yours. You stop any time. You stay with a level that's right for you. Breathe out as you float the leg. Breath in as you come down. Thinking about keeping the spine in neutral. And make this your last one. And recover. Would you take the feet a little wider, hands on the ribs, and I'd like you to start to rock the legs just a little bit at a time. So you are rotating and feeling as if you're keeping the ribs softened at the front of your body. Okay, you keep going for me. Folks, this rotational business is still part of the warm-up. Some of you will prefer to have the feet slightly apart. Some of you might prefer to have the feet together. Some of you might want to keep the range of movement smaller. Some of you might feel you can make the movement bigger. So you're going to choose which one, if you are in any discomfort, you choose the one that feels right for you. I would like you today to have the feet apart, so we're getting a little bit of a warm up through the hip as well as the spine. So by now you can start to go a little further. You're still allowing the ribs to stay softened at the front, but you're going to be lifting the rib cage at the back. Keep your shoulder joint down, your shoulder blade can lift. Isn't this a gorgeous exercise? Come back into the centre, spinal rotation. Okay, from here, can I ask you to turn onto your side? You're going to push yourself up into kneeling. If you can't kneel, excuse me, if you can't kneel, you can always stand up. Knees hip distance, arms down by your side. I'd like to feel as if your arms are straight and strong. You are pulling back from underneath your armpits. Please don't worry if you don't get this. I teach it quite differently. I use all the principles of Pilates, but I teach it quite differently. I use a little. I use 4 little sniffs in. I use 4 little breaths out. You might want to do it on a 3 count. You might want to do it on a 5 count. You might not like the breathing pattern. You might just want to breathe. That's okay. Shoulder blades are drawing down the back slightly. I'm pulling down from underneath my armpits. I'm using the back of my arms. I keep smiling because we're using the sniff blow method. That's my mind. Do one more time and let it go. Okay, remember that movement for me. Arms come across the chest. Little connection here. I'd like you to do a slight rotation right. Come back to the centre and a slight rotation left. Ladies and gents, let your head go with you. Just let your head go with you. Crown of the head towards the ceiling. Now, some of you in class know that you need to be cautious with the rotation. If maybe you are not as familiar with this movement, if you have osteoporosis because my pelvis is fixed, I do not want you to take it any further. For those of you who have issues with extension in your lumbar spine, you might want to go a little further, but you work within your symptom-free zone. For those of you who can, because remember this is a level 2 and 3, you could take your arms here, start to increase that rotation, get taller. I find this particular movement is really good for gentlemen because it tends to get you to extend a little bit more into your thoracic area. I hope you're using your bottom, you're squeezing the buttocks together. The feet can be together, but for now I'd prefer them slightly apart. And make this your last one. And recover. Come back into the centre. Would you come onto your back for me? We're going to continue to build the 100. Remember, you can go down on your side or you can use the fancy arms business. Yes. Bend the knees. Arms by your side, chin nodded, use a pillow if you want to. Spine is in neutral. We pat our arms. You are pulling down from underneath your armpits. It's a little sniff, 2, 3, 4, blow, 2, 3, 4, little sniff, 2, 3, 4, blow, 2, 3, 4, little sniff, 2, 3, 4, blow, 2, 3, one more little sniff, 2, 3, 4, little blow, 2, 3, and release. So you're using that 4 sniffs in, 4 breaths out. You do not have to, you can just breathe. You can use an in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4 if that feels better for you. Chin slightly nodded. Would you keep your spine in neutral and bring one leg up? Now your decision. I'd like you to go into imprint. Could you bring the second knee up? You do not have to. I'm happy with one leg. Pat your arms in midair, little sniff, 2, 3, 4. Pull the rib cage down, especially on the out breath. Feel that you're drawing your hips and your ribs closer together. I still want you to use that breathing pattern and I want you to hear yourself using that breathing pattern. Put your left leg down if it's unpleasant on your back. If your tummy muscles are pushing out, so is your pelvic floor. Put your left leg down if you need to. This is your last one. And hands down, left leg down, right leg down. Release. Rock your knees from side to side without any intention. Centre, chin nodded, turn your head to the right. Folks, I'd like you to look towards your right shoulder. Come back to centre. Chin slightly nodded, turn your head to the left. Folks, just do a few more of these. So you're releasing the neck. Team, I've got many of my colleagues putting things out on Facebook at the moment, and it's one thing that has really been bugging me, is that a lot of people do the head turn and just let the head turn, and I see lots of movements in sitting and standing where the head is not doing the right thing. So feel that you just slightly nod the chin before you turn the head, especially if you're not using a pillow. Push the opposite shoulder down, and let's do one more. If it feels okay, you're starting to push the shoulders down. Come back to centre. Pat your arms in midair, please. Little sniff. 2, 3, 4. I want you to hear yourself taking that little breath. You're keeping the sacrum still. Slightly soften your ribs down so nobody would know but you. Osteoporosis, neck injuries, your head stays down. If you can, you nod your chin and you're lifting from the ribs. It's a sniff. 2, 3, 4, blow. 2, 3, 4. Jiggly bits go somewhere, but muscles should stay in. This is your last time through, and release it back down. Rest. Would you bring your left knee into your chest, slightly closer? You can stay here. Could you imprint the spine? If you can, I'd like everybody to be an imprint, if that's okay. Bring the second leg up, if that's right for you. Can you keep a very soft imprint? If it hurts, put the right leg down. Okay, just stay in there's hard enough, yeah? Little pat. 2, 3, 4, sniff. 2, 3, 4, blow. 2, 3, 4, sniff. 2, 3, 4, blow. Your decision. One leg or two. Ribs soften down. Press the bottom of the back of the ribs into the mat. Try saying that. And if it's right for you, lifting. Especially on the out breath. See if you can lift. It's a sniff. 2, 3, 4, blow. 2, 3, 4. Back issues. You do not progress. Can you keep your abdominals connected? Sniff. 2, 3, 4. And release. Folks, on that particular exercise, I feel better using a rather than the sniff. I feel better using that little out breath because I just find my body naturally breathes in. So it's worth playing around with that and seeing what feels best for you. Please would you come back onto your side, coming up and lift up onto your side. I want you to face me so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to turn sideways. I'm not sure which is my best side. So I'm not sure I've got a best side. So take your right toes forwards in front of your knee. Folks, your hips are tucked under. So have a look at this back leg. Your hips are tucked under, chest is lifted. Yes? I want you to ease into that. You're not pushing down. That's not a hip flexor stretch. I want to stretch the hips flexor by lifting. Stay there for me. Breathe. Just have a quick look. If you can't kneel, would you do it like this? Yes? Guys, I really struggle with this because I've got arthritis in my knees. So if you have, you might be better off coming out of it or going to the one on your back. From this position here, tuck the pelvis under. We've used the hip flexors quite a lot in that last exercise. So tuck the bottom under. You can stay with this. Could you take your arms up? You don't have to. Could you lift them? Tuck under and just look up towards your hands. Folks, you're looking to your hands, not towards the ceiling. You don't have to do this bit. Those of you who need to avoid a lot of extension in your lumbar spine, you could put your arms across your chest, release, and let it go. Would you take your time, sliding back, watch me first, hands are here, and I'm flexing the foot, but I'm not looking at the toe. Look at my spine. I want the spine long. You don't have to flex the foot, you can point it. Hold, stay there. Those of you who cannot kneel, hamstring stretch, yes? So you're staying in this position. Are we liking it? But not a lot. Can you come upright? Ooh, can you come upright? Hold. Tuck your bottom under again. Release. Lengthen your spine and come down into it. Please don't look towards the toe, look towards the wall. I bet there's a bit of grunting and groaning going on at this moment in time. Spine long rather than rounded. Release and let it go. So knees are apart. Now I'm just tucking myself in so you don't see anything that you don't want to see. It might make you sick. So you've got your forearms down, hands together. My knees are apart. Troops, you're going to stay in this position. You're taking your shoulders, arms further forward. Further forward, yes. The knees are wide. Look at my feet are wide. And then you ease your bottom back. Now, if you've had beans for your breakfast, which you'd have a job having beans because there was none on the shelves, you might find this is very good for trap wind. You know, if you're on your own, let it go. It doesn't matter. My dad always used to say it's better out than in. So you're pushing back. Folks, if you cannot do that, maybe you've had a hip replacement or you've got sore knees, what I'd like you to do is allow the knees to drop out. If you must, you can put your hands underneath your bottom or you can support the legs. So you could use a different inside thigh stretch. Would you come out of it when you're ready? Bring the legs together. Let's change sides. So folks, remember you can do this lying on your back. I'd like you to take one foot forwards, other leg behind, tuck your bottom under. Now I'm rubbish on this side, I want to do this. How are you? Are you different on one side to the other? Can you tuck that bottom under, shoulders down? Ooh. Now that's good because I'm getting more of a stretch when I do it correctly. Your body's brilliant at learning how to cheat. Stay with this if you wish. You can do this, here, here. If you can, arms come up, look towards your hands, keep tucking that bottom under. Don't worry if you arch a little bit, accept those people who I do not want to do lots of lumbar extension. Whoever's class you go to, they'll tell you if they don't want you to. Breathe and hold it and recover. Remember you can do this one on your back. Push away. Now you might want to keep the toe down, you maybe even be able to flex the foot, but I don't want you to look at the knee or else it becomes a neural stretch. Look away, look towards the wall, breathe and hold. Feel as if somebody's trying to lift your bottom up to the ceiling. Is there any grunting and groaning going on? Come back into the centre. So you're staying there, you're coming upright, just tuck that pelvis underneath and then ease back into it. Try and get longer. Flexing that foot, breathe and hold. Hold, feel the stretch in the back of the leg into the calf, but people will feel it differently. And come back into the centre. Okay, we're going to come back onto our back if you would. So you're going to roll onto your side or do the fancy pants. I cheated. So you've got your arms down by your side, shoulders and neck relaxed. We did the 100 earlier on, which was a lot of flexion work. So we're going to go into a little bit of controlled extension. I'd like the back of the ribs down. I'd like the feet a little closer to your bottom. I'd like your arms down. Change your mindset on this. Push your heels down first and release. Go again. Push the heels down first. Now, as you're pushing the heels down, what's activating? Don't watch me, bring your head into the centre. Breathe out as you push the heels down. Breathe in as you relax. What's happening? You feeling the pelvic floor maybe switches on a little bit? Are you feeling that you are trying to use muscles without you actually telling them to? Let's go ahead, push the heels down. Lift up in a straight line to the bottom of your rib cage, please. So you drop and you lift. I'm initiating the movement from pushing the heels down. I'm lifting to the bottom of the ribs and down. Now as I do it, I'm pulling down. Remember the 100 arms that you did? You were pulling down from underneath your armpits. Shoulders were sliding down the back. And you're doing that double movement. So you're lifting and slight press. So we're working what's called a longitudinal sling system down the back. I want you to breathe out as you lift, in as you come down, head in the centre. Folks, I want you to concentrate on you. Are you a bit rocky? Does one side of the body seem to want to start before the other? I'm a little bit rocky on this. Breathing out and breathing in as you come down. Now hold at the top. Push the knees away. Make sure you can move the neck. Don't move it, but make sure you feel like you can. You come out of it if you're getting cramp. Hold a position. You can just let the first few ribs lift. Push the knees away. Breathe and hold. Make sure the jaw and the neck's relaxed. Change your leg position if you need to. I'd like to carry on and hold that movement. You've got a 3. Breathe. 2. And 1. Let it come down and completely relax. Have a little release on your hamstrings. Folks, you only progress it if your body says yes. So feet just a tiny bit closer. Still want you to feel that you're not here, folks. You're not there. Just a little bit closer. Start off. Push the heels down. Lift to the bottom of the ribs. Feel as if your knees are parallel with your hips. Now I want you to lengthen the legs away. Go on, push those legs away from you. You're going to find that you've lifted the last few of the ribs. Do not move your head, but feel you can. I don't want you to watch me. Stay here. Hold. Keep pushing the knees away. Relax the jaw. Just a tiny, tiny bit of pressure through your arms. I know sometimes we might ask you not to use your arms, but today I am asking you to. Are your ribs down? Make sure that the movement is from the bottom, not the lumbar spine. If you need to come out of it, you come out of it. We've got a few more seconds. Think of this little connection and come down and relax. Little release of your hamstrings. Now if you've done enough of that, you know how to do it with the curl. If you want to go back to the curl, do so. Can I get you to bring your feet a little closer? Arms are down. Push the heels down, lift up, push the knees away. Folks, you can start to lift the ribs a little bit more if you wish. I'm not coming all the way to the top because I feel I can use my glutes more here. Some of you will be able to come higher up. Remember, if you need to avoid a lot of extension work, I'd rather you keep the ribs down. Osteoporosis you must, unless you've been told otherwise. Don't move your head, but feel that you can. If you're getting cramp, come out of it. I guess that if I just talk to you long enough, you'll forget you're here. Keep pushing the knees away. You don't have to. Could you lift one heel at a time? Just the heel, not the foot. Push the knees away. Try and keep the pelvis level as you do it. Don't worry if you can't. Make sure you're breathing. Last few times. Lifting up. Could you do both heels together? Adjust your feet if you need to. Lifting. Could you still lift high? Push the knees away. Are you still getting that inner range in the glutes? 2 more times. So your buttocks, yay! 1 more time. Hold. Heels down. Push the knees out, bring it in, rest if you need to. Are your legs doing equal? Keep the ribs down. Come on, use your arms slightly, still lift the bottom. 1 more time, and rest. Now you know why we did that stretchy business before we started. This time, can I get you to rock without any intention? Just let it go. If you don't want to rock, do you want to hug your knees in? Do you want to stretch out? Just do what you feel you want to do. So we've activated the glutes. Oh, we've activated our glutes. Do 1 more for me, just a little release, let it go. Folks, I feel that I want to do this. This is fine for me. If it's bothering your back, put your hands underneath your bum, you can hold your legs. I just feel I want to do that. Whoa. Open leg, Lil. If we're in class, I'd make a joke now, but maybe not on film. Come back into centre and release. Okay, I'm going to be awkward this time. I'd normally always do something lying on your side, but I want us to come straight onto our tummy and stay with this back extension thing. Some people might need a pillow underneath the tummy. Maybe try it, and if it feels okay, use the pillow, but I want you to eventually do it without. Folks, I want you to try and move here in this upper back. Watch me. I want you to feel it peels rather than just a lift. Peel. Now I'm using something for underneath my head. Yes? So I don't know whether you'll need that or not. Enya's really laughing. I don't know why. I want to know why. So you're going to go something underneath your head if you need it. If you've got a big nose, you might need something bigger. So you're going to come down onto your tongue. Folks, can I get you to watch me if you're not sure of this movement? But if you are sure, you can join me straight away. I need something underneath my feet because I've got arthritis in my knees, but I'm going to do it without just so you can see me. I need a wee. Forehead down. I would like your arms like this. Draw your shoulder blades back and together, arms are lengthened, and release. Eventually, we will peel, and you're trying to peel the breastbone. Nothing, upper back. Yes? Can I just give me another 10 seconds. If it hurts you, will you do it like this? Watch me. Yes, so you don't have to lift your chest. Okay, let's have a go. Put something underneath your tummy if you feel you'd benefit from that, something underneath your head. Okay, now I'd like you to have your feet slightly apart, sort of in line with your hips or maybe a little bit further. If you need anything underneath your feet, if you're getting cramp or it's hurting your knees, put a pillow underneath your feet. You keep going. You're not watching me, you're listening. Just glide your shoulder blades back and together. Feel you have a tiny little connection into your tongue and then let it go. Do it again. Feel you glide back and together. We're back in the room now because there was a very big bumblebee. It was a lady one. Those of you who come to the studio in Glossop know that this time of the year we get big bumblebees woof, just coming down. Alright, so we're going to carry on. So your head is on the floor, your arms are by your side, and I'm talking you through it. You are drawing your shoulder blades just back and together. Glide the not forced. As you do it, feel as if you draw the belly button in a fraction. Now, the way that I'm doing it is fine. If you don't want to lay on your tummy, you will be able to do it this way instead. So you're drawing your shoulder blades back, palms face the trousers. Now, if you're on the floor, you're going to start to peel the breastbone off the mat, and then you lower it back down. So do that in your own time. Draw the shoulder blades back and together. Peel the breastbone off the floor and roll it back down. Go again. Now, as you're peeling the breastbone off the floor, feel the nose, the chin, the sternum peels and lengthens. And as you go back down, you're lengthening it as you go back down. I'm going to join you. So shoulder blades are sliding back, we are peeling. The bottom's relaxed and lower back down. You're trying to relax the buttocks. You're peeling your breastbone off the floor. And make this your last one. And release. Okay, folks, turn on your side if you need to see this. We're going to do something called prone squeeze. I'd like your head down, but I'm going to turn my head sideways so you can hear me. Legs are a little bit wider. I'm squeezing both buttocks together. My pubic bone's not forced into the floor, but it's kissing down, and release. So try it with me. Your bottom is squeezing both buttocks equally. Your heels slightly rotating because they do, rather than you making them do it. Is anybody feeling that the kneecaps are just lifted off the floor slightly? That's fabulous. Do it again. So your tummy's slightly connected, just a little bit. You are squeezing both buttocks together. Your legs are straight and strong. Your heels may rotate in. Your kneecaps may lift. Okay, carry on for me. Breathe out as you draw together. Breathe in as you release. You carry on. If you have any issues with your lower back, particularly if your lower back doesn't like lumbar extension, you may want to stay with this. Yes, it's a great exercise. Stay with this. Okay, if any of you doing this now has piriformis syndrome or you're getting any increased sciatica down the back of your legs, would you just squeeze the buttocks and release? I don't want you to do any more than that. I would show you gluteal bracing. If you know what that is, do that, but otherwise it's going to be too complicated on film. Have a rest. Now I want you to just rest, rock about, rock your hips from side to side. If you feel you want to come up and go into a shell stretch or a modified shell stretch, you know you can, but otherwise just rock. We're going to do the legs and the arms together. If you don't like one of them, do the other. Okay, that's enough of a rest. So forehead down. If you feel better with a pillow, use it. Legs a little wider. Here we go. Draw the shoulder blades back and together. Turn your palms in line with your thighs. Have you got that bit? Now squeeze both buttocks together. Oh, I need a wee. Let your kneecaps lift. Feet are on the floor. And only if it feels okay for you, lift the breastbone and lower it back down. Would you draw your shoulder blades back and together? Turn your palms in line with your thighs. Tense the buttocks. Tense the legs. If it's appropriate for you, lift the breastbone. Belly button's drawn in slightly. You're looking at the floor and release. Do that again. So you're breathing out. Feel you make your feet draw away from the crown of your head. Crown of your head faces down. Do it again. Don't know about anybody else, but I really feel that my face is dropping. And let it come down. Now only if your back says yes. Can you keep your legs straight for me? Can you lift the legs and release? Folks, really check. You're not bending the knees. You're lengthening away. You're lifting the breastbone. We're coming into a little bit of hyperextension in the lumbar spine. If that's not for you, do not lift your legs. You don't need to even lift your chest. You keep going, keep going. Watch me do a real base version, but it's a brilliant exercise. I'm not lifting, but I'm tightening. So people can do this if you don't want to do the lift. Let's do one more because it's one of my favourite. Lift and hold. Stay here. Breathe. Stay here. Lengthen the legs. Make the legs longer. Tummy muscles drawn in. Breathe. And release. I love that. Folks, I love extension work. So I don't particularly want to do any flexion, but if you want to go into a shell stretch or hug your knees into your chest, obviously make adaptations if you've had that hip replacement, but have a rest if you need to. Okay, so we've done some flexion work. We've done some extension work. We've done a little bit of rotational work. Can we do a little bit more rotational work? Join me. Kneeling. Oh, excuse me. So you're kneeling. Squeeze your bum cheeks. Feet together, but listen out. You stay there. If you can't do it, you can stand up. But if you're standing, you're not going to get this bit. That's okay. If you've had piriformis syndrome, you have your feet apart. Okay, so you're here. Squeeze the glutes. Think about this little hip to rib connection. I would like you to take both arms in front of your body. Swing down, look at your thumb, and then rotate. Now feel as if somebody's pulling your arms apart. Come back in. Rotate as if somebody's pulling your arms apart. Your chin's nodded and you're looking underneath your armpit. And come back to centre. Do it again. So troops, let the rib cage rotate. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we're breathing in as we increase that rotation. If you don't like it, just breathe however you feel comfortable. Keep dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Now, if you've got osteoporosis, if you've got any issues with your back that don't like the rotation, I want you to keep the movement as it is. Don't worry if the pelvis is moving. But otherwise, I want you to take it further and try and keep the pelvis stillish. Lengthen, come back. Okay, one more. You choose what level's right for you and let it go. That's your option. If you've got problems with your shoulders, your neck, you don't want to come onto your elbow, that's your option, yes? So you can keep doing that, have a rest and start again. Don't forget, good idea to keep taking a little bit of water on board. Elbow down, knees bent. Now you can have your legs here. You can pop a pillow between your knees if that feels better. This is the fancy pants business, but you don't have to use it. This, yes? Lift your armpit. So feel that you're using the armpit, you're using the big muscles, lats on the outside of the back. Now, am I right that that's an exercise just staying here? Yes? Arm comes up. I'm happy for you to stay with this, bringing it down. Arm comes up. Loads of bone loading through that arm. Could you take your arm up and over and bring it back? Breathing out as you go up and over, breathing in as you come back. Now, only if it's right for you, lifting up, take it over and bring it back. Lift it up, take it over and bring it back. Your choice. Rest anytime you want to. Shake the shoulder out, start again. Could you now lift up, go over if you prefer, open the chest. Bring it back and touch the floor. Open the chest, touch the floor. Open the chest. You'll notice that the range of movement is nowhere near as big as when we were kneeling. One more time. Open, bringing it back, arm across the chest. Lengthen this leg away, keep pushing away. Bring it in, push it out. Bring it in, push it out. Rest the shoulder if you've done enough. Wipe your fringe away from your face. Last time, push away, drop, and pushing up. Whoa. I had you on that shoulder a long time, which is fabulous, but you keep resting if you need to. Normally I'd do something in between, but let's go into kneeling, then we'll do the other side. So back into kneeling. Folks, you're going to have the position in the bum cheeks, the feet, as is right for you. Arms float, yes? Now bring the arms behind you. Team, earlier on when we did the workshop at the beginning, we were doing ribs down with arm floats. This time I want you to let your ribs lift a little bit. If you feel comfortable, arms can come higher. Keep going for me. This time I want you to get movement here, but not here. So you control it. You go as high or as low as you feel comfortable. You come higher up if you feel that's right for you. You are taking a breath in and then taking a breath out. Keep doing that for me. So you can do that if you don't want to come onto your side. Elbow down, knees bent, fancy pants. Hand up into the air and bring it back down. I'm pulling my armpit and waist away from the floor here. Check that your elbow's in line with your shoulder. You could take your arm further over. Try and do the same on both sides, but come on, if you're doing it on this side and you're thinking, oh, that's hurting me, then remember for the next time you do this. You could do this tomorrow or have a day in between, do something else, then come back to it. When you're ready, you are going to push and lift and bring it back. So this is lateral flexion. Fabulous for weight bearing, building bone density through that shoulder girdle, but it's fabulous for the waist, for the muscles on the outside of the back. They did some research and found that this exercise was more effective on what's called the external obliques than doing sit-up twists. Why would anybody do that? I don't know, but there you go. Stay with this if you wish. Otherwise, open. My hip leans a little bit. I'm looking underneath my armpit. I'm stiffer on this side and I drop down. You can take your hip down if you need to. So you can just let your hip drop down if you need to. Or if you want to work a little harder, keep that hip lifted, rotate down, open up. So this is a little bit of a hybrid of several different movements. I'm much stiffer on this side. I feel I don't get as much movement through that shoulder. Could you do one more for me? Bring it back. You can take your arm over, you can bring it down, straighten that leg, pull it in, push away. Pull it in, push away. Remember, your arm can come back here. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and rest. Give yourself a breather, pushing up, circle the shoulders. Folks, we're going to do a little bit of stretching. You can use, you'll need more than a little towel, maybe a hand towel, or if you've got a band, that would be brilliant, or a scarf or a belt. So I'm going to use a band, but you can by all means use a belt or a scarf. Come up into kneeling, please. Take the band behind your body. I'm going to double it up. You can stand up if you want to. Look forwards for me so you're not having to turn your head. Draw your shoulder blades back and then just lift. Breathe and hold. Now don't worry if your ribs lift a little bit, but I don't want you to encourage it. Shoulder blades back and let it go. If that hurts you, do not lift the band or the scarf. Shoulder blades back, chin slightly nodded. Phase 1, phase 2, lift a little higher if you feel comfortable and let it go. 1 more. Phase 1, breathe. Phase 2, lift a little higher if you feel comfortable. Where's your head? Head in line and let it go. Troops, you may need something to sit on, especially if you're taller or you're not very bendy or gentleman. You might need, I'm being very sexist there, I apologise, you might need something to just pop your bottom up on. Okay, band, belt, towel, scarf, both legs out. This, if you can, hip replacements, you might want to do it that way. You are going to lasso your foot, lift your chest. Important the back stays straight. You can just soften the knee. Don't bend it unless you have to, but just soften the knee. Relax your foot for me. Now keep looking, excuse me, keep looking towards me, yeah? Keep looking towards me. Is your back lengthened or are you rounding? Is your head in line or have you dropped it? What's happening to this spare leg? Do you want to take it out to the side, up to the ceiling, or do you want to take it out? Whatever feels right for you. Lengthen your spine. Keep the foot relaxed. Okay, now if you're starting to look a little bit like the hunchback, I want you to back off a little bit. I want your spine long. Now you nod the chin and you just look at the foot, not your knee. Breathe. Anybody with any disc issues, if you're feeling this is not right for you, would you back off? So you can come upright and just try and get a little bit of a stretch that way. If you've got osteoporosis and you've got a little bit of rounding in your upper back, you might decide to do it this way instead. Can you see the difference that I'm not rounding my spine? I'll show you on the other side sideways. Let it release. Take it away. Change legs. Remember what you do with this leg is up to you. You can lasso your foot. A good hand towel will do, or a belt. Relax your foot. Lift your chest. You stay there for me. Keep looking towards me. Folks, you are lengthening your spine, yes? Relaxing your foot. Relax the leg. We may feel the stretch here. You may feel the stretch here. People may feel the stretch in different places. Ease down. Look towards your toes. Relax your neck. Breathe. Folks, take your time. If you feel comfortable, go a little bit lower down. Now, I was just going to say, I feel really sad not being able to see you, meaning that I wanted to turn around. I actually do have people in my mind as I'm doing this. So you're easing down. But I miss being able to prod you with a stick. Ease further down, take your time, relax your foot. You can look towards the toe and take your time coming out of it. You can stand up and do this if you prefer. Have your legs wherever you feel comfortable. Hands behind your back, lift and release. We're going to take our time coming up into standing. folks, we have done flexion, extension, rotation. We've not done any standing work because I know we have lots of classes that have got lots of standing work in. I'm just going to finish off with one last movement. Feet and knees hip distance, I forgot what they were called then. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Feel that you're parallel. Crown of the head up to the ceiling. One hand here, give yourself a pat on the back, and that's it. Okay, thank you folks. See you on the other side. Bye.